Hello YouTube, Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. And yes, I have my lighting and I have my fan. How you doing in YouTubeLand? I never get tired of that. And look, we have the two black cats. We have Bast the Beautiful and Sekhmet. She's not a kitten anymore, so I'm not going to call her Sekhmet the Kitten. And look, and of course they're against this beautiful black velvet layout cloth with the silver stars. All right, so, and good thing I don't have a spread, otherwise we'd have a problem. So, welcome to the official video from yours truly for Llewellyn's 2026 Tarot Calendar, February 2026. Yes, I know I'm behind. The last few months, Mr. Alvarez has been Mr. Booked and Blessed. You know what that means? So, let me show you the front of the calendar. Let me show you the back of the calendar. And let me show you February 2026. Ain't that beautiful and pretty? And yes, there is no spread, so this will be a shorter video. So we have the focus on the Two of Cups from the Unbridled Spirit Tarot. The information about the tarot deck will be listed in the description box. We have a focus on the one of the symbols in the card, the lion-headed caduceus. And I will be talking about that because that is one of my favorite symbols in tarot. We have a blurb called Don't Assume, very important. And then we have an article called Love is a Many-Splendored Thing. So again, we have the Two of Cups from the Unbridled Spirit Tarot. The Two of Cups is the epitome of open-heartedness. We must be willing to lower our defenses, becoming vulnerable, to let another one in. Give the gift of yourself and receive their whole self in return. Now, lowering one's defenses is not synonymous and is not equivalent with lowering one's standards, just FYI. Now, I want to have Drake do a quick close-up of the card itself. Isn't it? It's beautiful. It is a really beautiful image. And I don't remember the name of this artist offhand, but they are definitely a new favorite of mine. Now, the lion-headed caduceus, the alchemical symbol of the winged lion, atop the famed wand of Hermes, signifies powerful transformation. The potent energy created by the union of two souls elevates and magnifies them individually to heights they have not previously known. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about this symbol because the symbol itself has a lot of symbolism. So, first of all, let's talk about the caduceus. The caduceus is the symbol of the staff that is entwined by two snakes. And the heads of each of these two snakes are on either side of this wand that is commonly known as a caduceus. It is a symbol that is quite prominent in the medical profession. It is a symbol of healing, which is also synonymous with the medical profession, even if it may not be the practical application of the healing profession in the medical profession these days, but I digress. The lion head is also symbolic of the Archangel Ariel. Now, Archangel Ariel, whose name literally means Lion of God, is not to be confused with the Archangel Uriel. And I'm also going to add Archangel Anael, who is also known as Archangel Haniel. Now, the thing about Anael, capital A-N-A-E-L, oh, bye, boss, you're leaving so soon. I miss you, I love you. Okay. So, the thing about Anael is that Archangel Anael is the archangel of romantic and sexual love. And there is actually a product, and I can't believe that I forgot the name of it. That's so embarrassing. I will include the name of the product in the description box, but I think it's called Estrus. And it was created and formulated by Michine Gonzalez Whippler. Now, Michine Gonzalez Whippler is probably one of the most well-known names in the realm of what is commonly called Santeria. And Estrus is the name of the state of a female of the animal kingdom when she's in heat and she's ready to mate. This product was purchased by women of color, specifically Black and Latina women, in the 70s before they would go out. And let me tell you, I've known about Estrus for years. I personally, neither being Black nor a woman, have worn it a handful of times. I've never really worn it religiously. Then again, if I'm going out, it's not going to be to have sex. It's going to be to eat out or to get together with people at a book club or shit like that. But that's just me now. Even when I was younger, I didn't do that. Like, go out to meet people, like, why? You know, but that's another video, another topic for another video for another day. Anyway, so, and I'll include more information about Estrus, you know, for those of you who want to know more. All right. So we have Archangel. The caduceus corresponds to Archangel Raphael, the divine healer of the archangels. The lion head corresponds to Archangel Ariel, the Lion of God, who is an archangel of prosperity and an archangel of animal protection and animal welfare. And then we have Raphael, who's astrologically aligned with the planet Mercury. And then we have Uriel, who is a totally different archangel, one that I have often referred to as the divine psychic and the divine psychologist. And then we have Anael, who is the archangel of romantic and sexual love. Okay. Don't assume. The most important thing to remember in a love reading is don't make assumptions. If the querent hasn't specified, directly ask, is this for a current relationship you're in or a future relationship? Now, what this professional psychic reader does is when somebody asks, well, I want to know about love. Well, what does that mean? Because there are different kinds of love. There's familial love, there's self-love, there's friendship love, there's love of one's career, there's love of humanity, there's love of community, there's love for one's neighbor, literal and figurative. And yes, there is also romantic love. So when somebody asks, I want to know about love, in a reading with me, my first question is, do you mean romantic love or do you mean something else? Or what kind of love? I usually go back and forth between asking about them because I want them to be very specific. And that's one thing that if you do not yet know this, because maybe you've never had a reading, maybe there's nobody that's drawn you, there's nobody in your area, or you don't feel it's the right time yet. So one thing to keep in mind when you have your very first reading, or if you haven't had a reading in a while, be very specific. What do you really want to ask about? What do you really want to know? So, this will save you a lot of time and confusion. Don't assume the gender the querent is attracted to, and remember that men or women depicted on cards don't necessarily literally indicate that gender. And don't assume the querent's desired goal involves wedding bells. Plenty of people are looking to find Mr., Ms. right now, as in Mr. or Ms. right now, or Mr. right now for that matter. Above all, reserve judgments and let the tarot speak through you. And by the way, there's a Mr., there's a Ms., and there's an MX, which is a non-binary version of that title, which I dig. I dig that. So for those of you who do offer readings, professionally or otherwise, hello, boss. Welcome back. Oh, these beautiful black cats. I only have two, believe it or not. The other two are not black cats, but I love them so much, especially my beloved Durga. Oh, let me get this from under you. Thank you. Thank you, boss. You were so cooperative. That's what happens when the camera's on. You're cooperative. Interesting. So yeah, don't assume anything. Because, and I remember one of the very first professional readings I did for a gay man, he was actually uncomfortable with one of the decks that I was using for his reading because it depicted a heterosexual couple. It depicted one man professing love to a woman. And he said, but I'm not a straight guy, I'm a gay guy. I'm like, I know, but the symbolism is there, the energy is there. It's one of the reasons why now more than ever, when I'm conducting a reading with somebody who is gay, especially a gay man, I prefer using a gay male tarot deck or a gay male oracle deck. They do exist, by the way. So that's one of my things for me personally and professionally, but I digress. So yeah, make no assumptions. And also keep in mind that the person who's coming to you for a reading may not necessarily be ready for a romantic relationship. I cannot tell you how many people I meet who are not yet ready for a romantic relationship. And that's just the ones that come to me for readings, as well as the ones who do not. Because I have been saying for years that more people have more shit about romantic relationships than any other area of life. And it is one of the reasons why Raphael is probably one of the most underused archangels when it comes to healing that is emotional and spiritual and mental. But again, I digress. And now we have love is a many-splendored thing. Without a doubt, the number one topic tarot readers are asked about is love, specifically romantic love. Cupid's aim is often askew, and it's up to diviners to guide lonely hearts on the path to romance. Here are a few tips to help you out with love readings. Again, this is for those of us who offer readings professionally or non-professionally. Because in my life I've met people who've hired me for events, but they do not do readings professionally. They only do readings for their family and friends. That's it. Querents, the clients, the seekers, usually have one intended lover in mind. Some readers are uncomfortable with the narrow reading and would prefer to explore the question, how can you find the love that's right for you? By the way, I personally have an issue with the yes or no questions. That does not mean that that does not mean that I'm going to tell a client, if you ask me a yes or no question, I'm not going to answer it. It just means that I do not feel comfortable with it, if for no other reason, because it is very limiting. Am I going to be rich? Yes or no? That's very limiting. Am I going to be in a romantic relationship? Well, what's the time frame? Between now and your death, or next month, or next year, or the next decade? So I would say to those of you who either have never had a reading before, or you have not had a reading in a long time, again, be not only very specific in your questions, but also be very open, because there may be an answer that you need to receive from your reading, but you're not necessarily open to asking the question, oh, hello, okay, boss, you've come back again. So, is there something that you want? I have a feeling I know what you want, but I'm going to see if I can do my best to do it in the video, but you don't want me to do that. Okay, fine. I thought she wanted me to pick her up. I don't think she wants me to pick her up. That she doesn't want on camera. Go figure. So yeah, I would say be very open, because let's say for the sake of argument, there is somebody you have in mind. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But what if there's somebody better than that? What if there is somebody who is a better match for you? See, that was always my issue. That's always been my issue. Like, well, okay, this person is nice, they have cute Adidas and shit. Okay, fine. But what if there's somebody who's better for you? See, sometimes we want what we want. Well, actually, that is the nature of being human. We want what we want. See, I think that Antonio Banderas and Antonio Sabato Jr. would be better off being my sex slaves. But I don't think that would work for them. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. You know, that's just my opinion, but that's sex. That's not romance. You know? Do you get what I'm saying? I hope you get what I'm saying. Anyway, So, it is best to first address the potential for their heart's desire before broadening the search. So, again, how can you find the love that's right for you? So the next time you have a reading, or when you have your very first reading, ask the reader, how can I find the love that's right for me? And be open for the answer, because the answer may surprise you. And I know to the marrow of my bones, some of you will not even get cups when this question is posed, when you ask this question during your next reading. Oh, hello. Hello, what's going on? What's going on? Okay, you need to calm down. You need to calm down. Yes, you and you. I'm doing a video here. You know what that means. All right. When a couple sits at your table asking for a love reading together, avoid spreads with defined outcomes and instead focus on what each brings to the relationship and what they can contribute to further growth. I'm also going to add, use different decks. Because if you use the same deck for two different people, you are either going to have information about one and not the other, or you're going to have information that confuses the hell out of you. So, and I think that's one of the reasons why I just naturally bring more than one deck when I'm offering readings at a public venue. Because I know that the possibility, and mind you, I haven't done a couples reading or a friendship reading in a very long time. So the fact that this is coming up is the universe's way of telling me, be ready for that to happen. So, yeah. And quite frankly, you know, I normally don't bring more than one chair, because I've done events where the other person sits on the chair and they don't vacate the chair, even though they're not having a reading, they're just lounging. So I'm like, okay, we're going to get them a second chair from someplace else, and that's fine. All right. So yeah, so if you're going to do a couples reading, or if two best friends want to have a reading, absolutely make sure that you use a different deck for each of them. So let's say, since this is a tarot deck, you may want to use, let's say for example, what tarot deck is this? The Londa Tarot for your main client, and the Luna Soul Tarot for the other client. So have at least two tarot decks so that one part of the couple or one part of the friendship can shuffle the one deck and then have the other person shuffle the other deck, because that way you will not get one energy more than the other, or you will not get a melange of energies that is very muddlesome. And as you scan the cards, keep an eye out for advice about promoting your querent's sense of self-love. I'm going to read that again. And as you scan the cards, keep an eye out for advice about promoting your querent sense of self-love. So, again, self-love is a very important kind of love, because when people love themselves, they do not need to worry about whether or not they're going to attract the love that they want and the love that they need in their lives. And let me tell you, my self-love has grown considerably over the last few years. And it was because of the inner work that I did that I attracted a romantic relationship that will celebrate its 15th anniversary this coming August 1st. So doing the inner work is important, but as I would say, that is another topic for another video for another day. One thing that I also do when I'm conducting a couples reading or a friendship reading is I look to see if a certain card shows up in both readings. So let's say, for example, for this, let me just use the format as it is here. Let's say that I'm doing a couples reading for two gay men. Gay man number 1, I lay out 6 cards. Gay man number 2, I lay out 6 cards. I use the Gay Tarot for Gay Man number 1, and I use the Robin Wood Tarot for Gay Man number 2. And let's say that card number 3 on both 6-card spreads is a major arcana card. For gay man number 1, it's the moon. For gay man number 2, it's the star. That will tell me something, especially if card number 3 has a specific representation, has a specific meaning aside from whatever card it is. So that's one thing that I do when I do a couples reading or a friendship reading. I like to look to see if there's a commonality between a certain card in a certain position. And I also look at if there are a number of court cards, if there are a number of cards that correspond to the sun signs of both individuals. So yeah, so that's another thing to keep in mind. As always, I want to thank Llewellyn Publications for continuing to publish their one and only tarot-themed annual, because there is no other tarot-themed annual. There are sun sign annuals, moon sign annuals, there are other astrological annuals, there's the witchy annuals, there are annuals for herbology, for aromatherapy, for magical herbs, for the moon, but there are no other tarot-themed annuals except for this one. And of course, I want to thank Charles Harrington for writing the Insight Spreads and Tips and taking over the writing of the Insight Spreads and Tips over from the Barbara Moore. And of course, thank you to all of you in YouTube land for all the likes, comments, shares, and subscriptions to my YouTube channel. And of course, thank you to those of you who have already scheduled your sessions. I wish all of you a beautiful night, a wonderful week, a fabulous weekend, and enjoy the rest of February 2026. And as always, stay in tune with your intuition. Stay safe, stay well, stay hydrated, and stay tuned for the next video.